Hello everyone, this is Dr. N.Senthil Madasamy, Associate Professor Computer Science Engineering. Great pleasure for me to welcome you all for this session. In this session, topic to be covered is Understanding OSI Model. At the end of Unit 4, the students will be able to describe the steps involved in investigating network forensics for attacks. At the end of this session, the students will be able to understand OSI model. The Open System Interconnection (OSI) standard is a model used to define how data is transmitted across the Internet. This standard was introduced in 1984 by the International Organization for Standardization (ISO). The ISO introduced the notion of communicate across Internet using 7 layers. Other groups have different model with fewer layers. It is important to understand different layers of communication as shown in the diagram, because a forensics examiner might need to explain to a jury how can be sure that email received by the victim did in fact come from the criminal suspect. To do that, you would need to explain the header information in an email and tell how that message is routed through different hardware. I can send you an email, but how can you prove that the email was actually sent from me? A helpful way to remember the layer is APSTNDB: application layer, presentation layer, session layer, network layer, data link layer, physical layer. All people seem to need data processing. Layer 1, physical layer, defines the hardware or medium through which data is transmitted and the power required for the transmission. That power often is in the form of electrical impulses defined by zeros and ones, that is binary. Physical hardware can include the following: coaxial cable, fiber optic, Ethernet cable, network interface card (NIC). Layer 2, data link layer. Address resolution protocol (ARP) is a method by which the network layer of the OSI is linked to the data link layer. In other words, when you are using the internet on your home network, the request is sent with an IP address for your home network. When the web server responds and sends a message back to that IP address, the router needs to route that message to the appropriate device on that net. That is, routing the message to the appropriate MAC address for the specific device that requested the information. Two addresses are used on LAN: a MAC address and an IP address. At the data link layer, MAC addresses are used to find destination computer listed in the table called ARP cache. A MAC address is stored in the network card. The application uses an IP address to find an destination computer. Layer 3, the network layer defines the communication between networks or operation of the subnet and make decision about physical path through which the transmission should occur. At the network layer, logical address are translated to physical address. At this layer, routing frames between networks and frame fragmentation decisions are made. Router operate at this layer. A router is a hardware device with a processing unit CPU and input-output ports. The router also have memory which contains startup configuration, operating system, routing tables. A routing table contains information about network and provides the most effective method of directing packets across the network. Layer 4, transport layer. The Transmission Control Protocol (TCP) is a communication standard that is used in conjunction with Internet. It is found in transport layer and is used for reliable delivery of data over the network connection. Services like World Wide Web, WWW, email and FTP use this communication protocol. Applications that require the faster communication and compromise and error checking use user datagram protocol UDP. VoIP and video often use UDP because of its speed and because it is no big deal data packet is sent out of order or is dropped. TCP on other hand is more orderly and provides error checking to ensure that all data packets are sent in correct sequence. Layer 5, the session layer, is responsible for initiating, maintaining and terminating processes on different systems. Layer 6, presentation, prepare the data for application layer and is responsible for data conversion, compression and encryption. Layer 7, application layer, can be viewed as closest to the end user and interact with applications. The functionality at this layer includes email, SMTP, remote file access, remote printer access, file transfer protocol FTP, hypertext transfer protocol HTTP, and network management. In this summary, we learned about 7 layers in OSI model. I mentioned references here. I hope you found this video is clear about the topic I lecture. Thank you and have a pleasant day.